Good morning. Thank you for tuning in to the Mona Lisa Monroe Morning Show. Grab your coffee or your tea, hunty, because we have a lot to talk about. But before we get started on those red hot topics, please go to my website, www.monalisamonroe.com. We've got t-shirts, we've got mugs, we've got toast. Believe me, we've got you covered. And also, you could purchase my book, Life After the Diagnosis. If you know a survivor or you are a survivor, this is the book that you need. Well, let's go ahead and get this party started right, shall we?
Good morning, good morning, good morning, hunties. Welcome to the Mona Lisa Monroe Morning Show. And just like the commercial says, please go to my website, www.monalisamonroe.com. Wonderful, right? Right. So if you are steady, if it's like steady followers, like awesome, awesome, awesome fan base. I want to personally thank you for following the show. I want to personally thank you for supporting the show. Each time that you get to the website, you each time donate whatever you can to the production of the ATR on the not personally thank you for that because it is what you do to the video. Yay! So today we got a wonderful show. We are going to talk with a guest that is considered a game changer and an atmosphere shifter. Yes, this guest is phenomenal. Backstage so she could introduce herself. So but until then, I want to just talk a little bit about shift and shift. So if you're one of the followers, you sort of know this now. So the shift is in 2020 was this sort of stuff. We were talking and discussing basically everything that's going on because everything is locked down. So just to try to find out what's going on. Well, in 2021, we sort of formulated this talk show, which is the Mona Lisa Monroe Morning Show. And we started talking about the red hot topics of what you're talking about. That's our phrase. We're talking about what you're talking about. That's how we got started. And so we started pulling topics from headlines, social media, the news, whatever the case may be. And we wanted to know what was being said out there and what was not being said on the news. So that's where 2021 shifted, and we ended up getting picked up by a great production company, ATR, All Things Relevant. And so that's where 2021 was. Well, 2022, we're still going to be talking about what you're talking about, but really not really. It's conversations out there that's not being had that I think need to be, right? No one wants to talk about the elephant in the room. No one wants to talk about what everyone is really feeling and thinking. Okay, Mona Lisa, what do you mean? Well, I'm talking about your spirit. I'm talking about your emotional health, your spirit man. And in 2022, we're going to be tapping in to that. If you've been following the show, hopefully you have. In the month of January, in the beginning of January, we talked to some amazing people, and these amazing people were considered creative thinkers. And these creative thinkers were Love Pate, hey Love, and Aisha Weekend. And they are creative geniuses as far as I'm concerned. Amazing ladies. So they were our first guests, creative thinkers. Then we had Gifted Hands, which were Sheba Hardman, and we had Latoya Owens, Latoya, and then we had Terica Scott. So hey Terica, so we had those amazing ladies, which was Gifted Hands. Then we had outside the box thinkers, which were Charles, Terica, and oh my God, I cannot forget Heather, amazing people so far on the show. So today, I'm waiting for amazing guest, waiting for her to actually perform. I don't know if she's having technical difficulties or not, but anyway, we're going to so that's where the show is. And I'm going to talk more about, how are you? How are you emotionally and spiritually? And where are you at this point? Like in the Bible, it says that God asked Adam what for the Genesis. And to me, it's not just talking about where you are physically, it's where you are mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So I wanted to know, how are you doing what God has set out with us? Operating, right? In your spirit, in your purpose, in yourself, in your full self, in the spaces that you are, vibing with, right? Because to me, it's all about that spirit man right now, because the world is just so crazy right now. And yesterday, I just had to do a self check for me, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And I had to just really tap into, okay, how am I really? Rev, good morning. There is something that is distorting your sound. It's continued to go in and out. Oh my gosh. Thank you for letting me know. Let me see what's going on. Let's see here. Let's see. Is this better? Let me double check another area here. Right now you're good. Oh, good. I don't know what was going on. Hopefully that's not messing with my guest here. So let's double check and make sure everything's good. Make sure everything is straight. And you know what? It would be today, right? It would be today that it's tripping. It would be today. Because why? Because I'm talking about your spirit man. I'm talking about God. Yeah. And all of a sudden I'm having the most difficulty. It never, but we're going to push through and we're going to make this thing happen. And I'm not even going to worry about it because we're going to have this show. The devil is a lie, as they say. So anyway, as I was stating, let me know if you can still hear me. I appreciate that, Rev. Let me know. Ah, yes, our guest.
Good morning.
Hello, Janine. Oh my gosh, yes. I was wondering what is going on.
It wasn't supporting with the app is not supported with my laptop. So.
Oh, dang it. Okay, well, you are on the phone now?
No, yes, I'm on my phone.
Okay. So as long as I got you, girl.
Okay.
I was saying to myself, the devil is a liar. He
Right.
is messing with this show today, and he is lying. Talking about the God, my favorite topic. That's what I'm talking about, Ram. And then next thing you know, we got the God. But you know what? I'm not gonna give him no more energy. So Janine, welcome to the show, my gifted, beloved sister. So I want you to tell the audience a little bit about yourself before we, just get going on this show today.
Okay. Well, good morning, all. My name is Janine. I am professionally, I am a senior HR professional for a retailer. Aside from my profession, I am a photographer. I I have a degree in fashion design and merchandising, so I love all things fashion and design. I am a single mom of an amazing 8-year-old little boy, and
Amazing.
yeah, looking forward to spending some time with y'all this morning.
Good. Well, the topic of our show today is game changers and atmosphere shifters. And when God gave me that topic, I said, Janine, because, let me go back to, give the audience a little history with me and you.
Yeah.
We actually went to the same church and really never talked, really never got to get the girl time in. Yeah. But all at the same time, I would sit back and go, man, she's amazing. Because when we would be, in church or whatever, when you would come or when I would come and we'd be there together, we'd be, girl, we'd be prophesying, we'd be praying, we'd be all in there. And you were just so amazing to me, but I never got an opportunity to, really get to know you. And then this past year, I was like, oh man, she is freaking amazing. So let me go ahead and get started with a few Let me go ahead and get started with a few of the questions that we had from the audience, because what do you mean by a game changer? Well, I'm talking about a person that she sets out to do one thing, and then next thing you know, either it's an idea or it's an action or something that just changes the freaking game. Then when you come in a room, someone goes, what is it about her? So how did you get started in what you're doing? Because I understand what you do professionally, but how did you get started with the purposeful thing that you do?
So honestly, so recently I actually did a vision board party for my birthday. I just celebrated my 39th birthday on January 7th. So, and I'll tell you about that. So I have a nonprofit that I'm actually currently in the process of establishing. It's called Elite Daughters. And that was actually birthed out of pain, honestly.
Wow.
Back in 2018, I went through a breakup that really broke me. And I really felt like I hit rock bottom. And I would go to work and I would put on face, at that time I was a facilitator. So I was always on stage. And, but I would come home and I would be so broken. I would be crying, just didn't really have a conversation with too many people, just because I felt like, no one wanted to hear my story. No one cared about, what I was going through and what I was experiencing and how I was feeling. And I
Mm.
remember laying on the floor crying, and I asked God, I was like, God, if you allow me to get off of this floor and get
Right?
from here, I promise that I would be there for any other woman that is going through something. Allow me to be able to see behind the smile. Allow
Oh
me to be
Lord.
able to see the hurt, even if they're putting on a smile, like as the same way I was.
Mm.
And out of that, God was like, let's start focusing, let's start shifting gears. And out of that, God was like, let's get some women together and let's talk about what our vision is, what our goals are.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so every year I think it started, my first vision board party started in 2019. And it started with me and two other ladies. I had a chef there in the Orlando area. At the time I was living in Orlando.
Uh-huh.
He brought us some nice hors d'oeuvres. We had some nice jazz music playing, and we just sat around and just talked about like what it was that we wanted to accomplish for that
Right.
year. And it was super fulfilling.
Mhm.
And so for every year thereafter, I've been doing that. And out of that, that's when God really put on my heart about Elite Daughters, really pouring into the lives of women and
Mm.
whatever that looks like for that woman, whether it's me
Mhm.
praying with them, whether it's me listening to them, whether it's me saying, hey, let's go do this together,
Mm.
something
Yeah.
that she needs to accomplish. But really being able to support another woman, because a
Wow.
lot of times we know that that's what we want, but we don't
Mm.
necessarily know how to articulate it or how to be that for another woman. So
Right.
I wanted to be that example of how to be that for another woman. And
Yeah.
as I started allowing myself to be available and be vulnerable, like really be honest, first with myself and with
Yeah.
other women about my experiences, I noticed that women started being attracted to that vulnerability within inside of me. And it just started opening up doors for me.
Wow.
And this last vision board party that we had, it was myself and 10 other ladies here at my house. And it was simply amazing. Like, ate together, we laughed, we talked. But out of that, that's where the creativity started flowing, because you
Right.
start connecting with other like-minded women, other creatives, and then
Right.
now we've got businesses being birthed out of these vision board parties. We've got
What?
awesome ideas. There's so much that's coming out of that.
Oh
So
my gosh.
that's a little bit about how I started.
Now, see, that's what I'm talking about. It's like the vulnerability of it all. Am I safe? I mean, are you going to take this information and run with it, or receiving it? Some women have a problem receiving love and care and it's you people don't believe it, but it's so true. Thank you. A lot of people can't receive a thank you. Oh
Yes.
no, it's no problem. No, no, no. Just sit in the thank you.
Yes.
I'm. I'm. Let me tell you something. I was so hating on y'all because I was wanting to be at that vision board party, but the fact that those ladies came together and like you said, birth 10 other probably ideas from that is the reason why you are on this show today. That's a game changing moment for these women, period, point blank. And when you say crying on the floor, let me tell you something. The only time God can really work with you
Yeah,
is when you surrender in that manner. So
absolutely.
you can't do nothing but help or basically say thank you to the person that broke you all the way down.
Yeah,
Because
seriously.
other than that, how else are you going to
Yeah.
do it, right?
Yeah.
Oh
And through
my
that,
God.
honestly, I learned to give myself grace, but
Yeah.
I learned to give grace to other people also. So
Yes.
as I was healing, God was taking me through that healing process. I was
Right.
learning how to love other people
Yes.
through their
Yes.
healing also too. So it was
Yes.
reciprocal on a lot of different levels,
Right.
but I was experiencing firsthand, but also giving out as I was receiving as well too.
And that's just beautiful. That's just so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Okay, we got another question here. So during the pandemic, that's a beautiful pivot there.
Yeah.
The pandemic, 2020, everybody knows that was the shutdown of the world, not just America, but the world. But all at the same time, it was beautiful because God was talking to each and every individual his own way. He was giving us an opportunity to tune in. What did you birth out of the pandemic of 2020?
Honestly, my walk with the Lord got closer because I was actually in Florida, Southwest Florida at the time. It was just my son and I. And it was hard.
Ooh,
It was so hard for us, because my workload as an HR professional increased during the pandemic. School shut
really?
down. So I
Whoa.
now have my son, who at the time was in first grade, second grade,
Oh
who's
gosh.
having to take 3 classes a day via Zoom. And I'm having to set up Zoom classes to become agile, right? But
Mm,
during that time, like I had to seek God like never before because I was experiencing a change, as we all were,
yeah.
but change in every area of my life. And I thought like, I was like, yeah, I could be a stay-at-home mom and, do homeschooling and stuff. And boy, was that an eye-opener for me. I was like, yeah,
That's
no,
what I said. I
no,
said, God bless every teacher, baby.
yes.
Every teacher.
Yes. But through that, God started showing me the abilities that He has placed inside of me.
Ah.
And, for a long time, I sat on them out of fear
Mm,
of not being able to, or not allowing myself to pursue them. But then
mm,
through the pandemic, it allowed me to get creative even more. It
yeah.
allowed me to be able to see um, where God would be positioning me. Through the
Mm,
pandemic, I moved from Florida to Texas.
mm, mm, yeah.
And it seems like everything that God was cultivating with me, it was like I was in I was in that one-on-one time moment, that intimate moment with God in Cape Coral. And then here he's like, okay, it's time to go. It's time to
Yeah.
move.
Now,
Like,
who moves during the pandemic?
exactly. It was not it was nothing but the favor of God.
Wow.
But coming here, it's like, okay, it's not time to sit. It's time to do. So all the things that I've poured into you, all the visions I've given you, all of the prophetic words that I've given you, all of the desires I've given you, okay, now the platform is set. It's time to do. And when I tell you, I've been here now since August, I want to say, and I've been going nonstop. Right when I think I will have a break, it's like, okay, the next idea comes, and I'm like, okay, I got to run with it.
Wow.
So the pandemic, it was a blessing in disguise for me,
Yeah.
and for my son as well too, because I watched him blossom. Now he's talking as a business owner as well. So we're
That's
cultivating some
amazing.
things on the backside for him also. But really now I'm really more focused on walking out my destiny, because I realize that my obedience is tied to someone else's destiny. So
Ooh,
I
that's
want to
good.
make sure that I'm shifting as the Lord would allow me to shift, so that
Mm,
way that next woman has the
yeah.
opportunity to be able to showcase her abilities, her skills, her talents as well too.
Wow. Wow, that is amazing. And the more and more I'm sitting here, I'm like, first of all, who moves during a pandemic? That's first of all. And then second of all, you hit the ground running. It's
Yeah,
not like you froze. It's not like you. And then with that being said, God has continued to provide for you.
absolutely.
And people, everyone that's been on the show and the audience has asked that question, they're like going, well, I didn't suffer during the pandemic. Matter of fact, my business blew up and
Yeah.
da 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 da. God is so amazing to me because even in the roughest times, even in the times where you think he's missing, he is right there, center stage, in front of everything, just doing it, just doing it. And you have to see it though.
Yes.
You have to see it
Yeah.
because if you allow your circumstances to be your 2020, which is your eyes,
Yeah.
then you'll be stuck. You'll be
Yeah.
stuck.
Absolutely.
So, what would you say? You're Okay, so in 2022, now that you're doing it, what's going on? What right now is Janine doing? Because first of all, I missed the doggone vision board party. So what else is going on with you in 2022?
So I've actually got a lot of things that I'm birthing this year. Wow, that's a loaded question. So I'll start here.
Uh-huh.
I talked a little bit about Elite Daughters, which is basically my investment back into women. I'm working on getting that nonprofit established. I
That's
actually have a
beautiful.
conference that I'm planning for young girls and women, young adults, coming up in October. More details to come. Still in the planning
Oh, it better
of
not
that.
be October 16th. That's all I know.
It's not October 16th, so we're
Okay.
good. It's like that first weekend of October, October 8th, I believe is the exact date of that. So I'm in the process of planning that. I actually am in the process of solidifying some businesses. During the vision board party, one of my good friends and I, we've decided to enter into a business that we feel like is a nice little niche for both of us for creativity. So I'll give you guys more details to come on that one also too. I want to make sure that all the legal things are
Yeah,
taken care of
yeah.
first. But I still do. I have J12 photography that I still do. I plan on doing a lot more with that this year,
Mm,
and using that platform to be able to help other women, whether they're branding their business and they need some photography done, or whether they need headshots done
mm.
for their organization or modeling or whatever the case may be. I'll definitely be walking out. Definitely fulfilling the J12 photography portion of it as well too. But I find that God is shifting me more so into fashion and fashion styling and fashion consulting and
Yes. That's
a bit into interior designing as well too. So there's a lot on the horizon for this year.
you better believe it. Oh
um,
my gosh. So tell me this. Where did you get the name J Trois? Is that what it was?
yes,
Where
J12.
did you get that name? What does it mean?
It was actually, I had a dream. God gave it to me in a dream. I want to say it was 2000, maybe 2000. No, it was 2006, 2007 time. But J-Toi in French means I have three J's. My name is Janine J. Johnson.
Oh,
Um, and so it basically, and then also to go a step further, my mom's name starts with a J. Her name's Jeanette. My grandmother's name starts with a J. Her name's Joyce. And
oh,
I got my passion for fashion growing up, seeing them
uh,
designing stuff. Like
yeah.
you might as well say my siblings and I and my cousin, we were like the Destiny's Child of growing up. My granny would use the same fabric and she would make all of us a different outfit, you know.
Oh, wow.
It was the four older of the grandkids. And so coming up, I would watch her and my mom sew and crochet and all of that
Mm,
stuff. And so that's really how I got that desire and that passion for fashion.
mhm.
So not only does it mean me, Janine J. Johnson, but it really talks about my heritage, you know, and
Yeah.
coming up where I learned how to sew, where I learned how to crochet, where I sat for hours to watch my granny follow
Wow.
patterns and create her own patterns and stuff like that, you know. So that's really
Man.
where that name came from. But it came to me in a dream, honestly. God gave me that download in a dream.
You know, a lot of people get dreams, right?
Hmm.
And they don't even know that they're dreamers.
Yeah.
They just get this dream and they go, oh, I had a dream and da 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 da. But the folks that act on those dreams, I personally feel like they're assignments or sometimes downloads from God to tell you what to do, what not to do, whatever the case may be. And Tabitha Brown, my favorite
Yeah.
favorite vegan in the world or vegetarian in the world, she says that everything that she's gotten it was like a dream.
Yeah.
She dreamed these recipes and then she'll wake up and then she'll start doing it and it tastes fabulous.
Yeah.
So me, I have to admit, I'm slipping because I used to write these dreams down. And then I'll say, okay, so, and then I'll go from there. And this year, I'm just really trying to tap back into all of that and shift gears, you know? So, what would you say? What did the question was? What would you say to encourage anyone that is wanting to start a business with their gifts? Now, that's a tough one because a lot of people are, working to make a check, which I ain't mad at you.
Yes.
But how do you start maybe on the side knowing what your gifts, skills, and talents are?
Yeah. So I would definitely say, think about what it is that you're passionate about,
Yeah.
something that you could do even if you didn't get paid. Although we know ultimately the goal is to get,
Some pay.
get the money coming in, right? But something that you could do that even if you didn't get paid, you will still find fulfillment in.
Yeah.
I would say start there and jot down some ideas and then kind of like make a roadmap of where you think this could go, right? Because I think a lot of times we look at one thing and we say, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to do this and I want to do that. And then it becomes overwhelming and we never pursue. So think about what that one thing is and then really think about how you could start doing that one thing. Even if it's saying, hey, family, I am, like for me, it was photography. So I bought equipment slowly but surely. My photography, soft lights, I bought everything slowly but surely. And then I started asking my family, hey, can I do a photo shoot for you and your family? Or, hey, can I do a photo shoot for this? Or if I knew someone that had an event coming up, hey, I'll do it complimentary for you just so that I could get the experience,
Right.
Or I would go out in nature and just shoot different types of forms of nature, trees, leaves, bird, people, out in parks and stuff like that, just so that I could get that eye for it. So that's what I would say. Start, like, look at videos of inspiration, things that inspire you, things that motivate you, things that you're passionate about, right?
Yeah.
Start there. And then don't try to focus so much on branching out into the other areas of that. Really hone in on that, right?
Yeah.
That one thing first. Get any credentials that you might need for that one thing, right? Sit under someone's apprenticeship for that one thing. Yeah. And once you get that, then on the weekends, if you have a 8 to 5 or a corporate job that you work through the week, on the weekend, find time, make time. Make time to be able to invest back in you, because throughout the week, you're investing in someone else's dream and someone else's vision. And you ultimately want to make that shift. So I would say start making that time for you to be able to invest in that thing that you feel like you're passionate about, that thing that you feel like you could do without getting paid. Set yourself up and position yourself so that way you could eventually transition, because I'm still on a corporate job,
Yes.
I'm still doing all of these
yes.
things. I'm still on a corporate job, right? And that's what's providing the finances for me to be able to do my business, to finance the things that I'm passionate about as well too.
And everyone that's been on the show has said those exact same words. First of all, just start.
Yes.
Just start doing something.
Yes.
And then you'll get the motivation and the creativity and whatever it takes to get the rest done. That's first of all. And then second, we laughed about it, but it's so true. Do not quit your job.
Yeah.
Do not do that.
Yes.
Just use the seeds of from the job to basically plant what you need to plant in what God has purposed for you to do. God is going to provide for you, right? Your gifts will make room for you.
Yes.
But all at the same time, don't go out there and quit your job, because Terica and them was laughing at me, because that's what I did, baby. I was like, okay, I'm all right. And God was like, for real? Now, mind you, he took care of me now, but sometimes you got to bump your head in order to, get it done. Right. So that's some good advice. And thirdly, I'm a firm believer of this. If you don't invest in yourself, who will?
Absolutely.
If you don't believe in what you're doing, who will? So when you said that was just like ding, 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 ding. Yeah. So and so when people say, what do you mean by invest in yourself? Like you said, you started purchasing
Yeah.
what you needed.
Yep.
Does that mean save some money? Maybe so.
Yes.
But you have to start, investing in your craft. Two of the guests the last time was like, look, I did some free stuff in order to get, and you just said that again.
Yeah.
It's the same vein. You have to be able to believe so much in yourself to the point to where you might have to do some stuff for free
Yes.
to get some stuff done.
Yes.
I love that.
And I'm
So,
also an avid believer of being a lifelong learner as well. There's so
yes.
many free courses that can be taken. LinkedIn Learning. There's so many different free courses that you can take,
Yeah.
to be able to cultivate whatever gifting that it is that you're wanting to cultivate. So that would be another thing too, is find something. You don't have to pay for all of them. Some of them you have to pay for, but they're inexpensive. Your local community colleges have a lot of courses that you can just
Yes.
pay a flat fee for, and you can go and get that knowledge, right?
Yes.
And then you can
Yes.
network while you're there, because you'll be in a classroom with other people that have this very same passion as you,
Yes.
get on Facebook. There are all kinds of groups for everything these days,
Yeah.
So that would be another thing too, is being a lifelong learner. Don't think that once you've done that initial research it's a one and done. You've
Yeah.
got to be ever learning. So that way, if the change comes, if there's a shift in that particular avenue that you're looking at, then you can be agile and you can pivot right along with that change also.
Yeah, and that's the key. You have to be able to shift. You
Absolutely.
got to be able to be that game changer whenever something is maybe a brick wall or a door that's closing or whatever. You got to be able to shift. I
Yes.
mean, and then we could go biblically on. I mean, David was the king to me, and
Yes.
then you think of Joseph, and you think of all of these people that had these doors slammed, closed, whatever, thrown in a ditch or what.
Yeah.
And you were able to shift gears. And I just love the fact that when I'm listening to you, you pivoted and you shifted in some dramatic ways.
Yes.
And a lot of times that's what it takes.
Yeah.
And I think God is pleased when we trust him to the point to where we're like, all right, Lord, it's on you.
Yes.
He waits on that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's scary.
Oh, very.
I ain't gonna lie and say it ain't.
Very.
But when you do that, it's like, Mama, may I cross the street? And it's like, okay, you shall. Go ahead and ask for what you want.
Yeah.
And see what happens,
Absolutely. And I'll tell you that, like, even with my transitioning from Florida to Texas, it was all birthed through prayer and God's will. I started receiving prophetic words that I would move geographically out of the state of Florida. Valentine's Day of 2020. No, wow. 2020. Valentine's Day of 2021. So last year. And at that time I was comfortable. I was not planning on moving anywhere. I was comfortable where I was,
Oh yeah.
Everything. And I kept getting those words. And then because I was so comfortable, God started making me uncomfortable.
That's it.
And situations started arising. So then I had to start seeking out, different things for the move. And when I started aligning with what he had already spoken, he just started opening up one door after another, after another. It was my desire to come back to Texas, but of course it wasn't. If you would have asked me at the beginning of last year, would I be moving toward the middle and last year, I would tell you no, because it was not my desire at all. But because I'm a woman of prayer and I want to please my Father, God, and be obedient in every way. As he was speaking, I was seeking his face to understand how, and he allowed it to happen, with little to no expense on my end, right? Like I was completely relocated and everything. And so it was all the favor of God to get me here. And then now I was able to see, I'm starting to see now that I'm here, the purpose that he has for me here, and I'm walking it out, because I can't sit here. I can't get comfortable,
And that's so, oh my goodness, girl,
Yeah.
you're making my skin just roll. It's like, first of all, if it was feasible for you to move, put it like this, if you were able to and you didn't want to.
No.
So, God is like, no, I need for you to get up and go.
Yes.
So he'll like, I remember Bishop T.D. Jakes said that he will, rattle that nest and make it really uncomfortable for you to start flying.
Yes.
And that's exactly what he did in your life, it sounds like. He
Absolutely.
made that nest a little bit uncomfortable in order
Yes.
for you to fly. And oh my goodness, are you flying? I mean, it's all over your face. It's just like joy and peace,
Yeah.
and contentment. And a lot of times we don't know what that looks like. Matter of fact, we rebuke it. The devil is a lie. Da, da, da. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Right.
Sometimes he's allowing that in order for you to get your purpose fulfilled.
Absolutely.
That is beautiful. I love it. I love it. And I'm thinking about my life and how it was so rough at times. And I'm like, what is going on?
Yes.
And then after the fact, you go, oh.
Yeah. We never understand. We never fully understand until we go through it, and we're on the other side of it. And we're like, okay, God, like, okay.
Because I wasn't going to do it, I wasn't going to do it myself. I mean, you could not tell me that I was going to be in Georgia. You could not tell me that I was going to move out of Texas. Are you kidding me? And I remember the prophetic word was given to me, and it wasn't even where you're going to go. It was, are you willing to go? That was the word. And I was like, willing to go where? And of course, Mama Sandy's like, that's all I got.
See God for the rest.
Yeah. She was like, that's all I got. And it was like, are you willing to go? And I moved in 2019, and the word was given in 2017.
Wow.
So I was like, okay,
yeah,
I don't know where I'm going, but the moment that I fully said wherever, whatever, then that's when everything started.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
The moment that you surrender is when God just starts to go, finally, okay, now I can give her this. That picture of Jesus with the big teddy bear behind his back, and the baby, she sees that little big teddy bear, and she's like, no. And Jesus is like, girl, but I got this big one behind my back for you. Right. That's exactly how it was. It was like, no, I don't want to let this life go.
Yes.
But he's like, I got something way better.
Yeah. And it's not about you. Like when you realize that it's really not about you, because God's not going to come down and do it. He needs us, our hands and our feet. Right? And when we realize the magnitude of what he's doing, because it's going to affect so many other people, because look, now you're in Georgia and look at your reach. Whereas your reach in Texas may have not been as broad as it is now, So when we realize that it's not about us, get ourselves out of the way and say, okay, I completely surrender, then it's like, okay, let me show you.
Yeah. Now I can work with you. It's just like a mannequin, Miss Fashion, right? Yeah. It's like a mannequin. A mannequin's like this, and then you're trying to maneuver that thing to where it'll do a certain position. But if that mannequin is fluid and she's just moving or he's just moving, you can dress her, you can move her, you can do whatever. Absolutely. It's just an easier process when you surrender. Yes. And it's amazing. I knew this show was going to be a spiritual enlightenment. I just knew it because that's the shift that I'm taking. And I remember when Oprah sort of took that same shift, her ratings dropped. People stopped watching her because people want to see, the drama. They want to see the craziness and all of that. And I got tired of talking about the bad stuff,
Yeah.
or, because politically, dramatic news and da 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 da, and who's zooming who, whatever. I'm not, we're talking about right now. How are you spiritually? What
Yes.
is happening in your inner man?
Yeah.
Because mental health is just out of the roof. And when I read about Regina King's son and suicide, I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? People are checking out, whether that's, sickness or by their own hands. I
Yeah.
mean, what is this about? Well, it's about us not getting what's happening, the sign of the times. What do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree. Because when you talked about mental health, for example, even when we went into the pandemic, you saw a lot of corporations, you saw a lot of talk more about mental health, and
Yeah,
it became not so cliche to talk about mental health, but it's
right,
real, you know.
right.
Um, and when you're talking about that, people need to understand where to go. And I believe that's where God is calling us as the body of Christ to, hey, rise up, right? And be
Yeah,
able to, it goes back to that authenticity. Talk
yeah,
about your struggles. Talk about
yeah.
how, during the pandemic, I had to pray. And God had to tell me to be mindful and teach me how to
Ooh,
be mindful, because it wasn't until I was made to be still that I became still, right?
yes,
And
yes,
through that, I was able to talk to other people about what mental health means to me, and then
yeah,
also be able to provide resources, professionally and, outside of the profession. But it's a real thing that people go through, right?
yeah,
But you can go through it. You don't have to stay in there, right?
right,
And
right.
so, but I believe that that's where we as the body of Christ, because if we were talking about therapy and all of that stuff years ago,
Hmm.
we would have been like, what? Like,
Yeah,
huh? Like,
yeah,
and you're saved, you know?
yeah,
But now
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, okay, therapy is an option, right? And it's
Hello.
okay, right? Like, so I think that there's a lot of good that came through through the pandemic, and specifically on mental health. I believe in therapy, and I believe that I also believe in God and Jesus and all of the
Right,
abilities of
right. It's not
spirit
an
as well
either
too.
or.
Yeah, right. I think it's just a good combination. Everyone needs something different, and that's where we start talking about that relational God, right?
Yeah,
Who
yeah,
has a relationship with you differently than he has a relationship with me, right?
right.
But we're all saved and we're all
Yeah,
sisters, and we all love
yeah,
one another, you know.
yeah,
So I think it's a good conversation that has been started. I think
yeah,
we as the body of Christ need to continue to make sure that we're sitting at the foot of Jesus and really understanding what it is that he's speaking in this hour, and how
yeah,
do we need to present ourselves to the
yeah.
world, because that's who we came to be a light to, is to the world, right? And
That's
if they see us defeated, if they see us backing away from, or putting thumbs down on people,
mhm,
then where's the
mhm,
love of God being shown forth, right?
right,
And it's through
right.
love and kindness will we draw them. So I think it's a
That's
good avenue to take into consideration and to guide people and direct people to Christ. But
mhm.
I think it starts with us first telling our story.
I totally agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, before this pandemic, I'm telling you, you mentioned therapy, people go, "Wow, you ain't saved,"
Yeah,
or they think therapy some demonic something. I don't know, but all at the same time, now, oh, yeah, therapy's real.
yeah,
I'm a advocate of therapy, because when I was face down in the middle of my living room
yeah,
when my son was killed, I, I mean, that's a thin line between crazy and girl, when I tell you. So I had to talk to somebody. I
yeah,
had to talk to somebody who wasn't going to tell me everything's going to be all right at that moment,
yeah,
because I don't know. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
And the only way I can help someone is to be real about this thing.
yeah,
And ever since then, I'm like, okay, I'm open book. If you want to know something, or if I'm willing, and open to help you by revealing myself to you, then it is what it is. I am a open book. What do you want to know that's going to help you get to the next step? And then all at the same time, I might need you someday. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I mean, we think about it. We don't go through stuff just like you said. It's not for us.
Yeah.
It's for somebody. Cause honey, I was like, Lord, my son, what? My 6-year-old son, what is happening?
Mm.
And I remember praying, and you know, why did you take him? He was only 6.
Yeah.
And girl, all of that crying and snotting and clear as day, God was like, I lost a son too.
Yeah. Ooh.
And I lost him for you.
Yeah.
Oh, every tear was like, okay, Lord.
Wow.
So he was like, I know what you're going through. I know it. So don't ever think that what you're going through, God does not understand.
Yeah.
He's so understanding.
Yeah.
And the leukemia, okay, Lord, all right, use me.
Yeah.
And boy, did he use that situation to help so many people. He helped me put it in a book.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like you are not going through this for nothing.
Agree 100%. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love it. So, Janine, I can talk to you all day.
I know, right? This has been fun.
So, how and where do we find you? Your businesses? Tell us everything.
Okay.
Everything.
All right. Well, so I have a different page for Elite Daughters. If you're looking for Elite Daughters, you can find it on Facebook and Instagram at Elite Daughters. And then J-Twa Photography, you can find it on both Facebook and Instagram as well. And then my personal page on Instagram is I Am the Janine, and on Facebook it's Janine Johnson. So that's how you can find me.
Good, good, good. Everybody go find her. She's so amazing. I just absolutely love you. Do you want to tell anyone out there who may be struggling in their spiritual walk, or just not knowing where to go or what to do in this moment, and the vision board parties and stuff like that, you're helping so many people. So let someone know right now who might not know. What would you tell them?
Yeah, so I will say find those women or those men in your life or around you. Observe, the fruit that they're producing. And if it's good fruit, then find out how you can link up and connect with them, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it is that you're struggling with, there's definitely someone that you can connect with. There's definitely so many different avenues. The one thing I will say is you're not alone.
Amen.
You are not alone.
Not at all.
One that has been through, is going through what you are going through right now. And it would be easy to say that you're the only one, but you're not the only one. And it may be difficult right now, but this is only a temporary moment in time. This is just a snapshot in time. So what I will say is draw on those people that you feel like are where you need to be, right?
Yeah.
Find a mentor, find a spiritual leader that you can attach yourself to. I'm an advocate about having mentors.
Yes.
Spiritual parents for accountability. I have several different mentors. I have business mentors. I have spiritual mentors, but find someone that can help cultivate what's inside of you. And I would say pray. And when you pray, don't look for some sort of format, pray from your heart. How are you feeling? Right? Because as Mona Lisa alluded to in Hebrews 4, it talks about we don't have a high priest that is not able to sympathize with what we're going through. He went through everything that we went through.
Everything.
Still did not sin. So when you speak to God, our Father, Jesus Christ, talk to him about what it is that you're experiencing and ask him to show you who you need to be connected with. And I promise you that he won't leave you hanging. For sure. But if you need to reach out to me, feel free to inbox me. I don't
Yeah.
mind motivating you, directing you to some people that maybe I know that can help
Mhm.
you out as well too. You can inbox me on Facebook at Janine Johnson, and I'll definitely make sure that I'm available because I want to see at the end of the day, I want to see men, women, and children thriving and surviving as well too, and being the best version of themselves that they can be.
Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. I love you, girlfriend. I'm
Love
telling
you
you, I'm so glad
too.
you my sister. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. And everybody out there, I'm not even going to follow up with nothing. I mean, that's it. In other words, she dropped the mic. So please find her and get with her. And if you need any help, like she said, please reach out. Thank you so much for
You're
tuning in
welcome.
today, Janine. Thank you. Thank you. We'll have you back
Okay.
because I want to hear what's going on. Maybe March, April, May, something like
Okay.
that. We're going to have you back. All
Okay.
right. Thanks. Love
Bye.
you. Oh my gosh. I just love her. She's so amazing. Thank you, everybody that tuned in to the show today. Game changers, atmosphere shifters. If you did not know what that was, I bet after the show you sort of got it now. Please tune in tonight. This evening, we've got some more folks coming on that we consider game changers, atmosphere shifters, honey. Tune in tonight, the Mona Lisa in the evening show. It's amazing. It's amazing. I promise you, it's amazing. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Thanks, thanks, thanks. And please go to my website, www.monalisamonroe.com, and support the show. Other than that, hey, man, thanks. See you tonight. Bye bye. Okay. See you tonight on the evenings with Mona Lisa Monroe.